It is my pleasure on behalf of all the people of ValuJet Airlines to announce that ValuJet has reached agreement to proudly work with McDonnell Douglas as the launch customer for the MD-95. And we're delighted to go forward with the MD-95 as our airplane moving into the 21st century.
On October 19th, at a Washington, D.C. press conference, Louis Jordan, President and Chief Operating Officer of ValuJet Airlines, announced a $1 billion 50-airplane order that signaled the launch of the MD-95 jetliner program. Hello, I'm Connie Terwilliger from McDonnell Douglas. The MD-95 is a program critical to McDonnell Douglas's continuing role in the commercial jetliner business, and it will produce an airplane ideally suited for the likes of a fast-growing, highly successful ValuJet Airlines. Their formula for operating low-cost, no-frill service on short-haul routes works. They've been profitable in every full quarter of operations and are being called one of the most successful startups since Southwest Airlines. It's an airline MDC's president and CEO, Harry Stonecipher, labels an American success story.
Well, you're looking at a couple of winners up here, and I think we feel like winners today. It's a great deal of pleasure to go forward with our new airplane that we've been looking forward to launching this year, and we're launching with ValuJet, one of the most dynamic airlines in today's system. And you've just heard their earnings growth, you know their traffic growth. They're adding airplanes faster than anyone that I know, and we're proud to be part of that team from day one, 2 years ago, minus 1 week, and looking forward to going right on into the 21st century with what we believe is the right airplane for ValuJet.
Begun just 2 years ago with only 2 DC-9s serving 3 Florida destinations from Atlanta, ValuJet now has a fleet of 35 DC-9s flying to 26 cities in the Southeast and Midwest. ValuJet will take delivery of 4 more DC-9s by January and has options for 50 additional MD-95s. What is the MD-95 twin jet, and what does it mean for the people and future of McDonnell Douglas? We talked to Douglas Aircraft's Executive Vice President for Development, John Wolf.
The MD-95 is a 100-passenger replacement of the DC-9. And it's a short-hop airplane that's fulfilling the requirements that the airlines have to replace their older 100-passenger airplanes and to fill the new market requirements that are emerging for short-hop, very low-cost missions. So a very substantial part of this market, in fact 75% of it, is replacement of the older airplanes. That's in the early years. But there's also a significant growth to the market, and ValuJet is a perfect example of the kind of airlines that are now emerging very successfully and adding passengers into the business because they are able to offer very low-cost transportation, as inexpensive as driving a car. The MD-95 is designed explicitly for this mission. It has much less expensive operations because of its improved fuel burn, because of the more modern systems that are on board. So it represents the lowest cost way to fly a short hop distance, and it beats the competition, Boeing and Airbus, on both a trip basis and on a per seat basis, because it is uniquely designed for that mission. Of course, the first goals associated with the production milestone is the certification of the airplane itself. And the plan is to start flying in the second quarter of 1998, to have the type certificate for the aircraft by the second quarter of 1999, and very shortly thereafter, for example, a couple of months, begin delivering airplanes. And we'll deliver airplanes as quickly as we can, because the market demand is very strong at the end of the decade because of the noise regulations that are being imposed at that time. And we expect, frankly, an extremely strong requirement for deliveries 1999, 2000, 2001, and 2002. We have a number of international and U.S. partners that will share the development with us. They will share the risks of development with us, but they will also be our partners for the life of the program. They will produce their part, ship it to Long Beach, Now, Long Beach, California is still the final assembly site for this aircraft, and it will be produced in conjunction with the other narrow-body aircraft here in Long Beach. There are the high-end jobs of this business of final assembly and flight test, not to mention the engineering and development jobs that will be coming to Long Beach, California. Approximately 400 jobs in engineering early on, and later on we expect about 1,500 or more production jobs. Our competition was very determined to prevent Douglas from launching this aircraft. At one point in the competition, when frankly there was a lot of activity going on with one of our competitors, a team of people from the program, the product center managers and the other general managers of the program, on their own accord decided to write a letter to the customer, committing themselves personally to being a partner with that customer and producing the best product.
Of course, ValuJet's selection of the MD-95 was a practical business decision, but we'd like to believe that the letter sent to ValuJet's management, signed by 19 Douglas general managers, had some influence on ValuJet's decision. One of the managers signing that letter was Rolf Selge.
In order to reflect the intent and the intensity behind the letter, we almost have to go back into history on the MD-95 program just a little bit. And that is that earlier this year, the MD-95 program sustained a significant loss to a major customer in Europe. And it was a very emotional loss. We expected it. And that was roughly in March. And then ValuJet came along in mid-August and was the second potential chance at launching the MD-95. Now, on October the 2nd, on a Monday, we still hadn't heard any news as to whether ValuJet was going to go with the Boeing company, having already dropped the Airbus competition along the way. And we were literally gnawing at our fingernails. And we were trying to find a way in which to relate to ValuJet the intensity of our desire to launch this airplane. And in doing so, on the 3rd of October, signed a letter that committed the general manager team of the MD-95 program to ValuJet, saying that we want to launch it, we know you're a successful company, and we can make you even more successful by giving you the right airplane. So on October 4th, we sent a signed letter of commitment to ValuJet's managing staff. It apparently arrived at a time when ValuJet was making the final judgment on the Boeing proposal, and they had some difficulties with it, and they kept relooking at our proposal, the Boeing proposal, and then the letter arrived, and the spirit that was transmitted in that letter on the part of the Douglas team apparently caught their eyes and thoughts. And they said, why are we doing business with the other guys? You really ought to be working with a team that has that much commitment.
The key to ValuJet's success is a strategy focused on achieving cost efficiencies from technological innovation, a low-cost structure, and a commitment to customer service. Everyday low fares aimed at attracting the leisure traveler and a ticketless reservation system are just some of the ways it cuts costs and attracts customers. To learn how the MD-95 fits into ValuJet's strategy, we talked with the airline's president and chief operating officer, Louis Jordan.
As we reviewed all the aircraft that were available to us, it became clearer and clearer that the MD-95 was the ideal airplane for us. We began with the DC-9 Series 30, as you know. It turned out that that was, in our opinion, the most reliable airplane flying. We're delighted with its structural integrity, and it's been a great airplane for us from a reliability standpoint. We think it's particularly customer-friendly in that 80% of the customers at any given time have a window or an aisle seat. And for all the same reasons, we believe that the MD-95 works great for us with the improved engine, fuel efficiency, lower maintenance costs, updated cockpit. It fits. We like the idea of a family of aircraft, so that we will be flying by the time the turn of the century comes around, we'll be operating DC-9 20s and 30s, MD-80s, and then the MD-95.
Good morning, ValuJet Airline. This is Lily. How may I help you?
When we began ValuJet, we decided that we wanted to be a fun and friendly, family, leisure-oriented airline. So we were very careful in selecting the finest people available to us, folks who were challenged by the thought of starting out from scratch in the backyard of a major operator where the world said it couldn't be done. But we designed ourselves from the ground floor to the very top of the company to be very cost conscious. We don't spend money on anything unless it relates to the safety, reliability, or comfort for our customer. We have built a very strong winning environment around here. People expect to win. They're excited about being a part of a winning team, and they're excited about the fact that the MD-95 is going to enable us to do that on into the next century. The letter was really a unique facet of the entire process. At the time the letter arrived on my desk, your competitor was actually in first place. And it would be less than honest for me to say that the letter by itself changed that, because that's not the case. There were many factors, including price and delivery and the quality of the product and the reliability we expected and all the other things that have to go into it. But the letter had a true impact on us. I shared it with the other founding partners of our company. It was very touching. The tone of the letter signed by all of those key representatives of Douglas Aircraft saying to us that they were committed to building us a great airplane and seeking our support in selecting the aircraft really caused us to reflect on the sincerity of the people who would be involved in providing us this airplane, and really helped us focus even more closely on the partnership aspect that Douglas could bring to ValuJet. We know that we were highly sought after by all the manufacturers. We believe that we make a great showcase operator for somebody's airplane. But it became clear when the letter arrived here that ValuJet would be even more special to the folks of Douglas. And it was very meaningful to us, very touching, and turned out to be quite important in our decision.
Airlines buy airplanes from people. It's not an airline company buying from a manufacturing company. It's people within an airline buying airplanes from people. The people here are absolutely dedicated to success in this business, and they're very good at doing the business. This gives us the opportunity to perform. Certainly there's going to be challenges. There always is in the development of a new aircraft and its certification and its entry into production. But it's a challenge that I haven't met a person yet that doesn't look forward to participating in meeting that challenge.
I almost get emotional about how long it's taken and the dedication of our people. Thanks to all of you.